Well, hello, retro computing enthusiasts, electronics geeks. Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. Yes, I know it's been a long time since I've posted any videos. I've been really busy with other stuff, but that doesn't mean there hasn't been retro computing stuff going on in the background. I just haven't had a chance to make any videos of it. There'll be more stuff coming out in the future because I'm doing some pretty interesting stuff, and as soon as I get all my I's dotted and T's crossed, I'll shoot some videos when I find some time. Unfortunately, I'm very busy at work right now. But I do have a twofer for you today on Retro Computing Find of the Week. I've got two boards here that I think you might find interesting if you're into retro computing. Two S-100 cards from back in the heyday of the S-100 bus. And these are cards, I saw them come up for sale on eBay, both by the same seller, separate sales. Whenever I see a seller selling something interesting, I will always look at their other sales. And this guy had a lot of S-100 cards for sale. He was selling them individually. So I don't remember which of these I saw first, but I looked at his other sales and I found the other one. And I said, I got to have these two cards. These are really going to fill out my S-100 system. And if you've been watching my channel, you know I have an S-100 box with a Teletech System Master single board S-100 Z80 computer in it. And I've been looking for some accessory cards to fill it out. I do have a prototyping card in there, which I build little circuits on, and that'll be the subject of another video because I'm building something interesting on it. But in the meantime, when these two boards came up for sale, I had to have them. So what have we got here? Well, what we've got here is, first one here is a Polymorphic Systems video terminal interface card. So basically, this card will give you video, and it has an input for a keyboard on it. So with this, I can turn my S-100 box into a standalone computer. Right now, I have to use it with a terminal emulator on my laptop, which you've seen me do multiple times in multiple videos, which works. And back in the day, you would have had to have a terminal of some kind, either a dumb terminal or a smart terminal to talk to it. But everybody's goal was to have a standalone computer where you could get keyboard input into it and you could get video output out of it through either a television or a monitor, and you wouldn't need the terminal. So that was everybody's goal. And that's kind of my goal too. And now I've got a card that'll do it. So what are the specs on this thing, you're probably asking yourself? Well, it could display 16 lines of either 32 or 64 characters across, depending on the settings. It could do all upper and lowercase, alphanumerics, punctuation, numbers, and it had 64 special graphics characters. And it has video terminal editing capabilities. So it can move a cursor around just like you're dealing with a smart terminal and edit text in its memory. So that's going to be very, very handy. So along with all its video capabilities, it also has an input right here. Basically just this empty socket up here is a place where you can connect a parallel keyboard to get keyboard data into it. Now that's going to be a bit of a problem because parallel keyboards are as rare as hen's teeth these days. And if you can find them for sale, they're generally pretty expensive and they might need a lot of work. The keys in them go bad. But I had a thought. We'll see. I may have to do a little bit of R&D and some brainstorming here. I might be able to interface a PS2 keyboard to this like through an Arduino or something. So we'll see what I come up with. But I'm really stoked to have this board and can't wait to start playing around with it. I don't know if this card works. No guarantees. This card's pretty darn old. But going to try it out in the future. There may be videos, about getting this thing up and running. It may have some issues. It may not. It may work right out of the box. I don't know. It was very well kept by the previous owner, very well packaged when it came to me. And whoever assembled it, because these are all kits, you got to remember. These cards came as kits back in the day. You had to assemble them yourself. Whoever put these boards together knew what they were doing. They knew that which end of the soldering iron to hold, let me tell you. And as a bonus, I have manuals for both boards. They're already printed out. Now these manuals are available online, but the seller had them printed out and included them with them. Saves me the trouble. So hey, great. So we'll be able to get to work with this card right away when I get some time, as usual. So I'm hoping I can get this thing up and working, and I'll be working with it pretty darn soon. Okay, let's take a look at this other board. What have we got over here? Well, this is another really interesting board. This is the Digital Research Computers S-100 sound effects board, and it has two, count them, two AY38910A sound effects chips on it. One sound effects chip was pretty awesome in a computer back then, but this one has two. Each chip has 3 channels. So we've got 6 channels. Each one can have a different tone, a different volume, a different noise background, a different envelope, you name it. So we could have 3 channels on the right, 3 channels on the left, or we could combine them for 6 channels altogether for some pretty awesome sound effects. And this is a pretty simple card. So I'm working with some breadboard computers like my Jazz 80 computer, and getting sound on the Jazz 80 is a priority for me in the future. And in fact, somebody left a comment on one of my Jazz 80 videos. They said, with a name like Jazz 80, you better make this thing make some good sounds. So this is a very simple card. All right. Most of this is just interfaced to the S100 bus down here. Um, there's really not that much to the sound effects part of it. So I could duplicate this and reuse code for it on my Jazz 80 and maybe some other projects too. So that's one reason I bought this card. I thought this is going to be really useful. I can get it working in my S100 box, develop code for it, figure out ways to play chip tunes on it, whatever. And then I could duplicate the circuit for some of my other retro projects, and the code will just transfer right over. So that'll be super easy. This board even has a big prototyping area over here. In fact, you see there's so little to this circuit that there's room on this board for a big prototyping area. So, this thing was built for experimenters. And each of these chips has 2 I/O ports on it, as well as all of the sound generating stuff. And these empty sockets over here are for 8-bit I/O ports. So this board can do a lot of neat stuff. And I just can't wait to start experimenting with it and see what I can come up with. Now, again, this board is in great shape. It was put together by somebody who knew what they were doing. It came with the manual, again, printed out nicely. In fact, there's more than just the manuals here for both of these. Like I said, the manuals are available online. You can find them online, s100computers.com and other places. But there's more than just the manuals here. There's all kinds of code snippets and whatnot. Very useful stuff for both of these boards. So yeah, I am just stoked to get both of these boards, and I got them at a pretty good price too. Not that expensive at all, especially considering how rare they are. I've only seen one other terminal board come up for sale on eBay in the last year or two of me looking. And I almost bought it, but I didn't really like the looks of it because I could see that some components had been broken off, probably to rough handling and storage and whatnot. And I thought, well, I could fix that. And I hemmed and hawed on whether I wanted to buy it. And then I saw this. And I'm like, okay, I'm buying this and not buying the other one because this thing looks like it's in pristine shape. And then, of course, I got this one too. So, oh my goodness, I am just so stoked to have these 2 boards. And I can't wait to start playing around with them in my S100 box over there and see if I can get them both up and running. Yeah, one issue I'm going to have, like I said earlier, is the keyboard for this. I got to figure out some kind of keyboard input. I will work on that. Maybe interface PS2 keyboard to an Arduino or something. We'll see. We'll see what I come up with. But whatever I come up with, it's going to be an interesting, and I think it's going to be an interesting ride getting to the final result. So anyway, if you guys found this video at all interesting, inspirational, informative, whatever, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to see my future videos where you'll see these guys in action over in my S-100 box, and you'll see some future stuff derived from these, I think, in the future too. So subscribe to see those videos. Thanks a lot for watching this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.